Hi, greetings to all of you. First of all, thank you so much for coming forward to join this live pitching. I would like to give a disclaimer before I proceed to my pitching, which is why am I the only person who is representing TELCOV? It is because we try to keep the operational cost as low as possible, which is why I was doing most of the things during the business operations of TELCOV. And very soon, after we are funded, I'll be setting up a team of all race and religions. Thank you. Hi, my name is VIMALAN and I'm the founder of TELCOV Sdn Bhd. I come from a family that is already involved in the recycling industry for the last 30 years. Our company's name is Tipa Metals Sdn Bhd. It is still running successfully in Shalam area. Some of you might have known. So, after completing my studies, I did a degree in Marketing International Trade in Victoria University, Footscray, Melbourne. And I joined my family business and I was working for about 10 years. And I started exploring the opportunities in electronic waste. And after doing this business for the last few years, we want to get our own license and to set up our own factory to recover these precious metals out of this electronic waste. That is the only way that we can obtain the license, because Alam Sekita have made it in such a way that nowadays they give you a license only if you can set up a plant to extract and to dispose this electronic waste completely, which is why we're going for this crowdfunding. I wonder how many of us know that electronic waste is one of the fastest growing source of waste in the whole world. So what we're going to be introducing is that a method that would actually help to eliminate this problem. First of all, it will be beneficial to the environment, and secondly, if we are funded, we will be the first company to give people a chance to claim cash, silver or gold for the value of electronic waste that they are selling to our company. And by this, we can encourage every class of society to own these precious metals as a savings for their future. We would have heard about crypto mining, but a lot of us don't know what is urban mining. Urban mining is a concept. Before this, we used to drill into the crust of the earth to extract metals such as copper, brass, silver and gold to be used for the production of our electronics that we are using at the moment. But the concept of urban mining, what it means is that we can recycle the waste that we are generating to extract the metals to be used again into the electronics that is going to be manufactured in the future. And I would like to add on that e-waste management is very profitable, as well as it contributes to ESG, which is environmental social governance, which everyone is talking about at the moment. And how sure am I that we can get a lot of materials to be recycled? It's a common fact that we keep changing our electronics. We can't use the same phone anymore. Once we update it, it's not going to work the same way it did before. So with the implementation of 5G, we're going to be having a lot of electronic waste being created in all sort of industries, medical, media, universities, and every industry is going to be pushed to change the electronics that they already own. So with this, we will have a lot of electronics waste that is generated for us to recycle. TELCOV initially started off as VR Industries Enterprise in 2019, a sole proprietor company, where in 2020 we were able to extract about 1.4 million ringgit worth of silver as well as gold, which was assayed by KL SAS. The certification is available in my website as well as the pitch deck. And then in 2021 we expanded the company and became TELCOV Sdn Bhd. So how did we extract all these metals before this without a license or a factory of our own? We partnered with companies that are already having this license as well as the factory, but we saw that there was a lack of transparency, and we felt we can do it much better when we start this on our own. And also I would like to add that if we were to replicate the competitors that are already in the business at the moment, it will cost us nothing less than 15 million to set up the same type of facility that they already have, the technology. but we are saying that we can do it for a much more cost efficient way, which is 2.5 million ringgit, and we can set up this entire thing, and we will be the first company in the whole world to give people an option to claim cash, silver or gold for the electronic waste that they are disposing. In this slide, we have showed where are we going to get the electronic waste from. First of all, from the consumers, the household, which will be our main target segment. Secondly, the factories. And third will be from the government disposal contracts. And finally, we're going to be also buying from scrap collectors across the state. And we have included how we're going to be doing it. We're going to have our own logistics, we're going to have our dismantling team, our extraction process, and the harvested materials such as gold, silver, palladium, copper, tin, aluminium, iron and such will be resold to generate an income, and the precious metals of course will be used back as a reward to be given to the public, and if they choose to only claim as cash, we will also sell it to jewelers and other relevant parties to monetize it. As the long-term strategy, we are going to use this particular factory that we're going to be setting up after this funding, after we are funded, to demonstrate that electronic waste management can be done cost efficiently. And once we have demonstrated that, we will be able to set up the same type of facilities across the states in Malaysia. So with this, we will have a standardized operational facility which will be easier to be transferred to other relevant parties or a team that is also interested to come forward to recycle electronic waste in their states in a much more cost efficient way. Okay, in this slide you can see the competitor analysis where we have mentioned that there's only one full e-waste recovery facility in the state of Selangor. So if we are setting up another factory, we will be the second company. Okay, when I say full e-waste recovery facility, you can see if you go to Alam Sekitar website at the moment, you can see that there are a lot of collectors, a lot of collectors and collection points that where you can go and sell off or go and drop off your electronic waste. But in order for all that materials to be extracted and disposed properly, you need a full e-waste recovery facility, which is the type that I'm talking about. There's only one currently in the state of Selangor, and also there are few more in other states like in Melaka, Negeri Sembilan, but then no one is offering a silver or gold in return for the value of electronic waste, which will be our unique selling point and will bring a lot of attention to us once we have start operating. When we can show that anybody from any class of the society can start to own this gold and silver as the savings for their future, it will really be something that is very unique, as well as it will bring a change in handling poverty as well. And now for the financial projection, you could see that in the year 1 we are estimating to make a net profit of 798,000. Why is it so? Because the company will still be fresh, where we will be taking at least 6 to 8 months to set up the facility as well. So we won't be making any revenue at that moment. So in the second year, we are estimating to make 1.7 million ringgit as our net profit. And the third year, we are estimating to make a profit of at least 3.8 million ringgit. Okay, and I'll be speaking more about the allocation of funds, where we need to engage a EIA consultant to guide us through this licensing process, which is these consultants are approved by Alam Sekitar. So that would cost us about 240,000 ringgit. Following up with the ISO certifications, that will cost us about 125,000 ringgit. And the third would be the licensing and renovation, which is about 120,000. Why do we need that? Because we need to renovate the place in accordance to the rules and regulations set up by Alam Sekitar people. And the fourth will be the major expense, which is the machinery that we're going to set up. That will take at least 1.5 million ringgit. The fifth would be the logistic expenses to get our own lorry to go and collect this electronics, which will be 120,000 ringgit. And the sixth would be initial sales and marketing. For that we have allocated 60,000 ringgit. And the final cost allocation of fund would be to purchase the e-waste, which will be 334,000 ringgit, and all of this adds up to 2.5 million ringgit. And we are estimating to start to pay back the dividend in the second or third year. And we're following on to the next slide will be financial details, where my minimum target to raise through this crowdfunding would be 500,000. The maximum target will be 2.5 million, and my company's pre-money valuation is 8.1 million ringgit, and my paid up capital is 1.4 million ringgit. And yes, the equity that I'm offering, if I'm able to raise 2.5 million ringgit, would be 23.58% equity, and if I'm raising the minimum, that would be 5.81% of my company equity. And the minimum investment ticket would be 1,000 ringgit, where my share price for this equity crowdfunding has been set as 5 ringgit and 64 cents. We are targeting to purchase back the shares within 36 months after the investment period, and we are also giving a targeted share purchase price premium of 10% above price per share that we use for the fundraising campaign. So if you decide to leave the company in the third year, we can buy it back for 10% higher than what you actually paid when you came in to the company. And in this slide, I'll be speaking more on the dividend milestone, where TELCOV is targeting to offer dividends up to 15% per annum out of net profit for the year, based on investors' equity, depending on whether TELCOV reaches its projected net profit based on its projected financials for the year. So even if we reach any percentage of the assumption, we will be still paying our investors the dividend. For instance, if let's say we reach from 80% to 100% of our targeted milestone, we will be paying our investors a 15%, where if we reach 60% to 79%, we'll be paying dividend of 12%. If 40% to 59.9%, we'll be paying our investors 9%. If we reach 20% to 39.9%, we will be paying them a dividend of 6%. So any projected financials that we reach, any profit margin that we reach according to our assumption, or even lesser than that, we will be still paying our investors a dividend until they are remaining an investor of TELCOV. Okay, in this slide, I'll be talking about how the funds will be released to me by milestones. Okay, for example, in order for us to start this licensing work, we have to engage an EIA consultant to work with Alam Sekitar and to guide us through this entire licensing process. So, for the first process, the Ethis team will release the payment to EIA consultant. And when we reach to the second process and we got the approval already, I have to submit the documents and proof to Ethis, where they will be releasing the second payment, and this goes on until we set up this entire factory, as well as when we get the license. So you can be sure of that your money will be managed by Ethis team until we set up this entire project come to a completion. And that's all. So if you still have any questions, you can always get in touch with me, +601222212158, or email me. I'll include the email link, vimalan.arumugam@gmail.com. And thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to you to invest into TELCOV. Thank you.